Sorry about this, guys. Some technical difficulties here for 1 second. I need the chuppah here. Hold this, please. Shabbat shalom, everybody. I am sorry that we're running a pinch late. We had a bunch of technical difficulties. I think it's because we've been scrambling so much to get ready for the the congregational meeting on Sunday. So stuff that should have been in places weren't in where they needed to be for tonight. And it's been crazy. Thank you. You know, we're in prep for confirmation mode and prep for bat mitzvah mode. We've got in prep for the service. And so on top of all of that, you should have your bulletins in your houses tomorrow. But we've been working hard on the bulletin and, as usual, technical difficulty problems and things. So last night I was up until 4. And I woke up this morning. I set my alarm twice. And I saw it go off, but I didn't wake up. So next thing I know, I think I'm supposed to be at the Red Mass at 8:30, and it was 8:08 on my clock. That was very scary. And I called them, and I said, they said, oh, don't worry, it doesn't start till 9. So I made it with plenty of time, and I think you're going to be hearing about it for generations to come, because as Bernard likes to say, I hit this one out of the ballpark. It is a very intimidating thing to be sitting in front of dozens of judges and people of the court, and that you're supposed to bless them. It's a very intimidating thing because, you know, we elect them, or they earn their responsibilities, and it's a difficult thing. So as I say to you, I said to them to begin today that it turns out this was the secret. The story about me and the Red Mass is that they asked me to do it one time 10 years ago. They asked me to read the Old Testament section. And they sent it to me, and it was a terrible translation. And I asked the judge, who was my contact, can I change the translation? And the judge said, I have nothing to do with choosing the liturgy, but it's already printed in a booklet, so, you know, the program, I don't think so. And okay, well, I mean, I could live with it. I can do it. Well, that night, I had a home phone in those days, not just my cell phone, but that night on my home phone, the phone rings, and it said Michael Duca. You know what that means? The bishop was calling me at home. Hey, Mike. No, I didn't do that. But the bishop and I had been in classes together and things like that. I wasn't sure that he really, really knew who I was, but we had been in things together. And so he said, hi, I understand you want to read something, change the translation. I said, actually, sir, I would like to read it in Hebrew. And he said, well, that'd be really cool. Do that. I mean, do what you want. That would be fine. So I got up there and I said, you know, I'm going to read the selection first in the original and then in a translation. And I did it, you know, phrase by phrase, Hebrew, English, Hebrew, English. And people cried. I'm not kidding. People cried. Not because my Hebrew was terrible, but because it's really inspiring to hear it in the original. And so I was sitting next to Pastor Pat Day that year, and it was already his 15th time doing this, and it was my first, and it was really intimidating to me. But he was making it easier, saying, and after it was over, I said, that was really an awesome experience. I mean, I loved the way they did this. I loved how powerful it felt. I really appreciated that, and that was really impressive. And he said, well, actually, I forgot to tell you the part. Other than they cried because I read Hebrew, they tell me when I walk in that they want me to bless everybody at the end of the service. I get to bless. There was a federal judge. I get to bless these people. And so I did you know, in Hebrew they call it al regel achat, that you can do everything kind of in a short form. I was standing on one foot. I wasn't standing on one foot. But I said something that made sense, and people found it comforting or inspiring, I guess. And so after it was over, so I go to Pastor Day and I said, that was very powerful, and I hope they ask me back again. And he said, well, they never ask the same lector again because, they like to change who does it. And I said, well, that makes sense, but I would still come back. Well, they asked me back again, and they've asked me back again every single year. And this was my 10th year, and it's their 25th anniversary. And so this one was really special in a lot of ways. 3 years ago, it was special because I wear my white robe, and whenever I can find it, I wear my red yarmulke because it was the red mass. I thought that's what you should do, right? Well, finally, about 3 years ago, one of the priests said, oh, only the Pope should be wearing those colors. I'm like, I never understood why it's a freaky thing for a woman to walk into an event and be dressed in the same thing that somebody else is. I never understood why that's a freaky thing. But if I was wearing what the Pope was wearing, so the next year I wore this one instead of the white one. And the bishop said, I like your white one. Why aren't you wearing your white one? And so I went back to last year. I wore the white one, but I wore the red yarmulke because I could find it. And I went to the bishop and I said, I'm wearing this. If the Pope comes, I brought a spare kippah I can swap to. And he thought that was wonderful. So I wore my white again this year. And I did, I got up there for my blessing. And, first comes about a week ago, they know, I've got it on my calendar now. It's the first Friday in May. It's on my calendar in red ink now. But I've got it on my calendar. They barely have to ask me anymore, but they send me the liturgy. So a guy sent me the liturgy about a week ago, and he said, I know this seems late. They had already sent it to me, but I didn't tell him that. He said, I know this seems late, but you probably know it already because it's the same thing they do every year. And I start writing to him saying, it's not the same thing every year. I've got a whole file of them, and a couple years ago we did, and I go, look, and I've got my chart of what I printed in my little PDF things. It's the same thing we do every year. I read the same thing, and I would have sworn to you it was a different reading every year because every year it has a different title on it, that they are going to give a different kind of a spin to their whatever their lesson is. And so my title every year was on the same Isaiah quote, same thing every year. So I said that. I said, Bishop, is it okay if a rabbi does confession here in front of everybody? I said, I didn't realize that it was the same thing every year. I said, but we're different every year. When we come here this year, I feel terrible. It's the 10th year, and every year we pray that the kinds of problems that you have to be here for, to judge, that they could go away, that we would live in a world where we don't need those things, and that every year we come out of the service inspired to make that happen. And here we are back again, and it's the 25th year. And worse than that, we're praying the same thing. And I said, but let me tell you what I think happens. Each year we're inspired in a new way. Even from the same words, we get inspired. And we, if nothing else, we come, and you know my word. I didn't use this word today, but I call it rejuvenated. When we come together, then we get rejuvenated. We hear some of the ancient words, and we say some of the ancient things, and we see people that we don't always see, and it makes you feel better, and it gives you a new, just new enthusiasm. Even if it's the same work, it's new enthusiasm for that. Right, Bernard? Everybody. I had these people. There was one judge who shall remain nameless because I can't even tell you I could remember his name right now, but remember 2 hours of sleep last night. It's still 2 hours of sleep. But he came up to me. My name is Judge blah, 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 whatever his name is, and we had this really long, wonderful talk about the kinds of injustices there are in the world and what we can do about them, and we had the same exact line for line. If I tell you, I said a quote that you're going to read tomorrow in your bulletin, and he said the same exact quote. And it was a unique thing. It's not like, go get them, or how about the Mets or something. It was really a unique thing, and he had the same exact line. And we had a wonderful conversation where we were on the same page about how to help our community, respect each other, talk to each other. He says, he's this mucky-muck macher of a judge. I don't think he used the word macher, but he still, talks to people. You get down, you talk to people. And that's what I had said. And I said to him, I said, Your Honor, actually, I was going to say it's really nice to get to know you not just on a poster, because I see his face every year for the elections. But it was very inspiring And I come to Shabbat with new enthusiasm because the same things happens on Shabbat. Tonight we have a few extra things that we need to do in addition to our regular service. What else are we doing? That's a really good question. It had to do, we looked this up. Actually, we had the third year, I think, that I did it, we had a congregant here who worked in a law firm that was predominantly Catholic. And he saw that I was even publicizing in the bulletin. I was very proud of this, that it was a really cool thing that we were doing. And so he contacted me, he said, I have to tell you why I'm not going. And it's a really big problem for me and my law firm because everybody else goes and they're really important in the thing. He said, but my understanding is that the origin of it is the Spanish Inquisition. And I went, and I contacted the smartest person I know, who is Father Pat Madden. And I said, Father Pat, is this true that that's the origin of it? Because that makes me feel terrible. And he said, he called an historian who looked it up, and the church historian. And the church historian wrote back a really beautiful thing that talked about, it was actually part of a French Inquisition, and it was around the same time, if I recall, but he said, they both said, I think the historian was a woman, but they said, the point right now is ecumenical. It is awful if the origin was something terrible, but the point right now is ecumenical. And so I think they give a better spin to the red than that, but that was part of the origin. But now it's really a powerful thing, and different faiths participate in. Pastor Brady Blade was singing his song. If you went to the symphony, he closed with that really powerful song where he starts off saying that, he's going to turn 80 years old and he's been in his church for 56 years. And he's saying that song about, when he wakes up and when he dies, he's with Jesus. Give me Jesus. And it was, oh my gosh, I cried. So it's really a beautiful thing, and I'm glad that I go. And you don't have to go because you just heard the whole thing. So, but we have things we need to do today. What else do we need to do? Birthdays and anniversaries. How many people have birthdays or anniversaries this month? I don't have a birthday or anniversary. Yay. All right, so we do this for you. And then who else? Well, so Israel's birthday was just this past week, so we're going to be doing a bunch about Israel today. And that's the symbol, the Jewish symbol, the seven-branch menorah. And I've got an Israeli flag in there. I'm not lighting that many candles, although there's a service in the new prayer book that we're going to be reading from today that has 7 candles in it. But this particular one that looks like the one in Jerusalem outside the Knesset, that's made in Mexico. So my mom wanted us to remember that it was also Cinco de Mayo. That's for you, Mom. So we say, Buenos Shabbat, something like that. I don't know. I know how to do it in Italian. I started saying it, and then I kind of said, I shouldn't have said it that way. That wasn't right. All right, so we are, not surprisingly, turning to page 82 for our service. And we are, not surprisingly, going to take a deep breath and let it out slowly. We're going to try it again. And let it out slowly. And I want you to think about this, about every time you're breathing in, it's as if God is breathing out to you. And every time you're breathing out, you're letting not just the stress and the carbon monoxide, whatever, all the, thank you, what he's just said, all the toxins leave your body. It's not just about toxins, but it's also give it to God. I mean, the stress, the pain, all of that. So take a deep breath in and say, getting life from God, and let it go out and give it back. God can handle it, especially on Shabbat. When I was at Green Family Camp, when Louis Dobin got there, Louis Dobin had a by his desk there were the stacking trays where you put stuff in, but hanging on the wall was a file folder. It was really kind of it was a box that would have had paper in it, but it was mostly empty. But on the outside it said abeyance. So that's where you put things to be held in abeyance. It was just, so sometimes I feel like I have that there. So we turn to page 82, And my blessers today are Debbie DeLynn and Herb Miller. One of the things that happened is we lost our handout sheets. I think they're in my car. So we turn to page 82. 82, we're service 3, page 82, and I ask you all to please rise if it's comfortable for you to rise. And I'm sorry I didn't give you a heads up on that. Usually she's in there.
I got it. Thanks. These lights are only flickering flames, yet flames illumine our uncertain steps. Flames remind us of Sabbath long past and of their beauty that delighted our hearts. May they inspire us to work for the great Sabbath of peace. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat. We praise you, eternal God, sovereign of the universe. You hallow us with your mitzvot and command us to kindle the Sabbath lights.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. I'm going to give you another mic on this side. Sorry about that. We continue on page 165. If you need the translation, it will be on 166, but we are going to chant this. Let me turn this one off. Sorry about that. Page 165.
Baruch atah Adonai,
Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho, v'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu, zikaron lema'aseh v'reshit, ki hu yom techila, למקרא הקודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים, כי בנו בקרת, ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים, ושבת קודשך, באהבה וברצון, הנחלתנו, Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. L'chaim. I want to say I love listening to Herb singing. I want to say you are welcome to sit down, but first you have to say Shabbat Shalom to someone you came in with, someone you didn't come in with. Thank you, Herb. That was beautiful. Thank you, Debbie. And then we turn back around to page 82-ish as we're going here. Page 83. Eternal God, who may abide in your house? Who may dwell in your holy mountain? Those who are upright, who do justly, all whose hearts are true, who do not slander others, nor wrong them, nor bring shame upon their kin. And come what may, do not retract, who do not exploit others, who never take bribes. Those who live in this way shall never be shaken. We're going to skip. If I turn that off, okay, that should be good. I tried an experiment and it didn't work. We're going to skip to welcoming the Sabbath angels on page 84. Bless you. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Bachem Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu Ni L'Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachi Elyon, Mi Melech Malachi Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzedchem l'shalom, Malachi HaShalom, Malachi Elyon, Mi Melech Malachi Hamlachim, Kadosh Baruch Hu. The synagogue is the sanctuary of Israel. Born of our longing for a living God, it has been to Israel throughout our wanderings a visible token of the presence of God in our people's midst. Its beauty is the beauty of holiness. Steadfast, it has stood as the champion of justice, mercy, and peace. Its truths are true for all people. Its love is a love for all people. Its God is the God of all people. As it has been said, my house shall be called a house of prayer for all peoples. Let all the family of Israel, all who hunger for righteousness, all who seek the eternal, find God here, and here find life. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shmei Rabbah, be'alma divrach chiruteh, v'yamlich malchuteh, b'chayechon u'v'yomechon, Uv'chai d'chol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala, uv'izman kariv, v'imiru, amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevarach, le'alam al me'amaya, yitbarach, v'yishtabach, v'yitpahar, v'yitromam, v'yinaseh, v'yitadar, v'yit'aleh, v'yit'halal, Shemeh dekudisha brichu le'ela min kol berchata v'shirata tushbichata v'nechemata damiran be'alma v'imiru amen. Baruchu et Adonai hamevorach, Baruch Adonai hamevorach le'olam Va'ed. Oh God, how can we know you? Where can we find you? You are as close to us as breathing, yet you are farther than the farthermost star. You are as mysterious as the vast solitudes of night, yet as familiar to us as the light of the sun. To Moses you said, you cannot see my face, but I will make all my goodness pass before you. Even so does your goodness pass before us in the realm of nature and in the joys and sorrows of life. When justice burns within us like a flaming fire, when love evokes willing sacrifice from us, when, to the last full measure of selfless devotion, we demonstrate our belief in the ultimate triumph of truth and righteousness, then your goodness enters our lives, and we can begin to change the world. And then you live within our hearts, and we, through righteousness, behold your presence. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem, Kevod Malchuto, Le'olam Vahed. And you may be seated unless you're Alexander or Milena. You're not in the Bet class yet. That's who gets to come up. That's what we need. You could do this.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בעיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך,
למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. Adonai Elohechem. Nice job. You shall love your eternal God with all your mind, with all your being, with all your being. Set these words, which I command you this day, upon your heart. Teach them faithfully to your children. Speak of them in your home and on your house, when you lie down and when you rise up. Bind them as a sign upon your hand. Let them be symbols before your eyes. Inscribe them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. Be mindful of all my mitzvot and do them. So shall you consecrate yourselves to your God. I am your eternal God, who led you out of Egypt to be your God. I am your eternal God. I, the Eternal One, have called you to righteousness and taken you by the hand and kept you. I have made you a covenant people, a light to the nations. We are Israel, witness to the covenant between God and God's children. This is the covenant I make with Israel. I will place my Torah in your midst and write it upon your hearts. I will be your God, and you shall be my people. We are Israel. Our Torah forbids the worship of race or nation, possessions or power. You who worship gods that cannot save you, hear the words of the Eternal One. I am God, there is none else. We are Israel. Our prophets proclaimed an exalted vision for the world. Hate evil and love what is good. Let justice well up as waters and righteousness as a mighty stream. We are Israel, schooled in the suffering of the oppressed. You shall not oppress your neighbors, nor rob them. You shall not stand idle while your neighbor bleeds. We are Israel, taught to beat swords into plowshares, commanded to pursue peace. Violence, Hamas, shall no longer be heard in your land, desolation and destruction within your borders. All your children will be taught of your God, and great shall be the peace of your children. Where Israel, O God, when we are witnesses to your love and messengers of your truth? You are my witnesses, says the Eternal One, and my servant whom I have chosen. Know me, therefore, and put your trust in me. We are Israel, O God, when I proclaim your good, as did our ancestors in the shores of the Red Sea. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nehedar b'kodesh. Nora tehilot osef eleh, nora tehilot osef eleh. Malechutecha rahuvanecha bokeh hayam lifnei Moshe zehelianu vehameru. Adonai himluch, Adonai himluch leolam vaed. V'ne'emar, and it has been said, the Eternal One delivered Jacob and redeemed us from the hand of one stronger than ourselves. We praise you, O God, Redeemer of Israel. May we lie down this night in peace and rise up to life renewed. O God, spread over us your shelter of peace, of quiet and calm, and bless us with rest. And let a time come when morning will bring no word of war or famine or anguish, a time of happiness, of contentment and rest. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom, aleinu v'al kol amo Yisrael v'al Yerushalayim. We give thanks for the night and its rest, and the promise of peace for all the world. Vishameru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat לדורות ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל עוד היא לעולם, עוד היא לעולם, עוד הזאת היא לעולם, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש. I didn't mean to skip it. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. That was one of my favorite things about having Virginia around, is I sing this song every single day. I sang it for every Friday for as long as Rabbi Robinson was here too. And I will be honest, sometimes I zone out and I see what's going on instead of paying attention. You may have noticed we had no guitar sound and I was doing technical stuff and I zoned out, but every time we'd get to the beginning of a verse, I'd look at her and she would, if she wasn't zoned out, she'd tell me what the next word was and we would be right on top. So we left out the Kishesh et Yomim, that it was a sign that for 6 days the Eternal One made heaven and earth, but on the seventh day God rested. And my favorite word, Vayinafash. Doesn't that feel restful? Vayinafash. And it comes from the word for nefesh, which is soul, which means something like, and was re-souled. It's a beautiful word. But at this point, we have the tefillah, which begins on page 93. I was looking at a prayer book yesterday, and it said, this is the most awesome, or we're on page 93, please rise. That's the part I forgot to say. Please rise. The most awesome part of the service, it says, the tefillah. Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha. Eternal God, open my lips that my mouth may declare your glory. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Leah, ve'Elohei Rachel, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Hasadim Tovim, Ve'koneh HaKol, Ve'zocher Chaste Avot V'imahot, U'mevi Geula Livnei V'nehem, L'ma'an Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Ve'ezrat Sarah. God of all generations, of Abraham and Isaac and Jacob, of Sarah, Rebekah, Leah, and Rachel, be praised. Your wondrous creative power fills heaven and earth. God of life and death, be praised. Through us, send help to the falling, healing to the sick, freedom to the captive. Confirm your faithfulness to those who sleep in the dust. Awesome and holy God, be praised. With acts of love and truth, we hallow your name. As it is said, today's Torah portion, by the way, be holy, for I, your eternal God, am holy. God of times and seasons, be praised. Enable us through Sabbath rest to explore and learn and impart the meanings of your Torah. Make our hearts ready to serve you this day and all days. You may be seated. God who answers prayer, be praised. May we, your people Israel, be worthy in our deeds and our prayer, wherever we live, wherever we seek you, in this land, in Zion restored, in all lands, you are our God. Source of life and its wonders, be praised. You are the miracle within all we behold. You are goodness, you are compassion. We give thanks to you forever. Read with me, please. God of peace, of justice, and of love, be praised. Inspire us to banish forever hatred, war, and bloodshed. Help us to establish forever one human family united in peace. God of peace, bless us with peace. Since we're celebrating Israel's birthday, and since the day before Yom HaAtzmaut, Independence Day, is also a Yom HaZikaron, the Memorial Day, this poem was written by someone named Shlomit Grossberg. She was 13 years old when she wrote it, and I thought you'd find this inspiring as you get ready for your silent prayer. What shall I ask of you, God? I have all I need. I lack not a thing. And I ask not for me alone, but for many mothers, children, and fathers, and not only in this land, but also in strange and enemy lands. I wish to ask you for peace. Yes, peace I want. And I know you will not refuse a single request from a young girl. You created a land of peace, and in it is the city of peace, in which stood a temple of peace, but peace has not yet come. What shall I ask of you, God? Haven't I all that I need? I will ask only for peace. Peace. We take a moment of silent prayer. May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable to you, O God, my rock and my redeemer. So before we do the prayer for healing, we need to count the Omer. So where are we up to tonight? Tonight meaning that we are Saturday. As soon as we lit those candles, we decided, even though isn't it amazing that it's not yet dark out? But we decided Shabbat was time. It was time for Shabbat. So the fact that we're calling it Shabbat means we'll start counting tomorrow. So what would we count if we were Saturday? 25. So we are 25 tomorrow. So we count. The blessing is the same that we say. It starts out as if we're fulfilling a candle blessing, as if we're fulfilling any commandment. Whenever we fulfill a commandment, we start with the first 6 words, Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Praised are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe. And then we continue with the 4 words that tell us that we're fulfilling a commandment. Asher Kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu, who made us holy by giving us commandments. And in this case, the commandment is Al Sfirat HaOmer. Al Sfirat HaOmer, about counting the Omer. Hayom 25 Yamim Shehem Shlosha Shavuot V'Arba'ah Yamim. Today is the 25th day, which makes it, of the Omer, which makes it 3 weeks and 4 days to the Omer. At this time in our service, then, we turn our prayers and our hearts to all who are ill or recuperating. I invite you to turn to the inside back cover of our prayer book. And as you know, I turn off the microphone for reading out the names. If you have other names that you want to call out for healing, we'll call out more names for healing. Do you know anyone else who's sick? Who needs prayers for healing? For all these names and for those who we choose not to say out loud or are not readily available at the moment, we pray together. O God, in our hearts we name those who are facing illness and pain. We join our prayers with the prayers of all who love them. Strengthen in them the healing powers you have placed within us all. Guide the hands and hearts of those who are entrusted with their care. May the knowledge of your love and ours give added hope to them and to their dear ones. May they find even greater strength because our prayers are linked to theirs. Baruch atah Adonai, Rofeh Cholim. We praise you, eternal God, the source of healing and health, and it has become our tradition to add, Mishaberach avotenu ve'imotenu. May the one who blessed and protected our ancestors guard all those whom we have entrusted with the responsibility of defending our freedom and protecting us. In this country, in the land of Israel, and everywhere they have been called to serve, may they return home safely. And let us say. So I have a question for you. How many people here have been to Israel? Taking her hands down. How many people love Israel? I mean, the country, really love the country. Love it, like you miss it all the time. So you were so glad that we made this wall out of real Jerusalem stone because it reminds you every week of the place that you'd rather be more than any place else in the world on Shabbat. Anybody else rather be there than more than anywhere else in the world? I'm very glad to be here. But if I could be with you and really at that wall, in a heartbeat, that's what we should be doing. So what I would like to do is, as a brief thing, I would like 7 people to come up here who would be willing to read a very brief chunk of the Declaration of Independence of Israel because it is incredibly profound, and I need you to come up and read it. So come up, 7 people. I need you. 7 people. 7 people who are willing to read out loud for me in a microphone. So you can read it in Hebrew or in English. Does that help? Does it make you feel better if you can read it in English?
Yes.
Thank you. That's good. Come on up. All right. Harvey, I'm going to let you go first. Just that paragraph. So this is from it's about the miracle of rebirth, they're calling it. The State of Israel, the Declaration of Independence, preamble from the 14th of May, 1948, representing the 5th day of Iyar, which was earlier this week. We're right between the secular date and the Israeli date. That year was, by the way, 5708. So we read this.
The rich year Israel was the birthplace of the Jewish people. After being forcibly exiled from their land, the people remained faithful to it throughout their dispersion and never ceased to pray and hope for their return to it and for the restoration in it of their political freedom.
Okay, next person. I'll do it like this, I think.
Let me put my glasses on. Which, where do you want me to read?
This paragraph. This is probably easiest if we do it like this.
Impelled by the historic and traditional attachment, Jews strove in every successive generation to reestablish themselves in their ancient homeland. In recent decades, they returned in their masses, pioneers, immigrants coming to Eretz Yisrael in defiance of restrictive legislation, and defenders, they made the desert bloom, revived the Hebrew language, built villages and towns, and created a thriving community controlling its own economy and culture, loving peace but knowing how to defend itself, bringing the blessings of progress to all the country's inhabitants, and aspiring towards independent nationhood.
We did that. Does it make you feel proud when we hear that? We did that. Next. Oh, this is really, really short.
Make sure that one
Just
line.
that one line.
Can I read it really, really slow?
Yeah. You want to read it in Hebrew? Or you want to read it in English really slow? Go ahead.
Is this the Hebrew?
Yeah.
Medirnat Yisrael Tetei Tehei Patucha La'alaya Yehudit Ulkibbutz Galuyot. Good. the state of Israel will be open for Jewish immigration and for the ingathering of the exiles.
That was awesome. Yeah, he was. What was that? So we had two words here so far. We have Eretz Yisrael, you need to know, is land of Israel, and Medinat Yisrael is the state of Israel. You can hold on to this. You got this? You want to step up or you good? I don't remember what we did for the bat mitzvah. It's this part.
It will ensure complex equality.
Start with
Okay.
the state of Israel.
Okay. The state of Israel will foster the development of the country for the benefit of all its inhabitants. It will be based on freedom, justice, and peace as envisaged by the prophets of Israel. It will ensure complete equality of social and political rights to all its inhabitants, irrespective of religion, race, or sex. It will guarantee freedom of religion, conscience, language, education, and culture. It will safeguard the hub places of all religions, and it will be faithful to the principles of the Charter of the United Nations.
Thank you. Next. Oh, I'm sorry.
So right here.
Yes.
In Eretz Yisrael, here, their spiritual, religious, and political identity was shaped. Here they first attained to statehood, created cultural values of national and universal significance, and gave to the world the eternal book of books.
We extend our hand to all neighboring states and their people in an offer of peace and good neighborliness, and appeal to them to establish bonds of cooperation and mutual help with the sovereign Jewish people settled in its own land. The state of Israel is prepared to do its share in a common effort for the advancement of the entire Middle East. I will grant peace in the land, and you shall lie down untroubled by anyone. Oh, wait.
This part?
Yeah,
Is that what you're
okay.
reading?
Yes?
It's okay, go for it.
Okay. Keep pointing to it.
What? Dude.
I will give the land respite from vicious beasts, and no sword shall cross your land. Okay.
That was from the Declaration. I think we have one more. Do we have one more person? We appeal to the Jewish people throughout the diaspora to rally around the Jews of Eretz Yisrael in the tasks of immigration and upbuilding, and to stand by them in the great struggle for the realization of the age-old dream, the redemption of Israel. Placing our trust in the Rock of Israel, you know who that is. We affix our signatures to this proclamation at this session of the Provisional Council of State on the soil of the homeland in the city of Tel Aviv on this Sabbath Eve, the 5th day of Iyar, 5708, the 14th of May, 1948. And they include all of the names that were signed on the declaration, and instead I will read all these names: Debbie DeLynn and Mark Sletsky and Harvey Rubin and Rick Murov and Herb Miller and Max De Benedetti and me. And thank you.
Bringing that to us.
Thank you. So now I call upon the president of our congregation to tell us what's going on, because you didn't get a bulletin yet. I hope you brought your good glasses. We got this.
Okay.
You got that?
Shabbat Shalom and Mazel Tov to everyone with birthdays and anniversaries in May. Thank you to Debbie DeLynn and Herb Miller for leading us in the blessings for the candles and the kiddush. Please join us in the parlor after services tonight to watch Cast a Giant Shadow, which is an exciting movie that shows the Independence War in Israel. The film stars Kirk Douglas, Angie Dickinson, Frank Sinatra, Yul Brynner, and John Wayne. It is not rated. It is about 2.5 hours long. This week will be our last regular religious school Sunday.
Oh,
Next week is Mother's Day, and the following week is Mitzvah Day for the Jewish community. Please join us this Sunday, May 7th at noon for the B'nai Zion annual congregation meeting. We will take the 2017 congregational meeting at the beginning of the meeting, and then We'll take the 2017 congregational meeting pictures at the beginning of the meeting and then have lunch and the meeting in Lefkowitz Hall. Friday, May 12th, during the worship service, we will be honoring the students who are graduating this year. Please come to wish them Mazel Tov. If you have anyone in your family who is graduating, please let us know. We would like to include them in our celebration, even if they can't attend this evening. Remember that we will be celebrating our 100th year of confirmation classes. At least 100 years of pictures on the wall on Friday, June 2nd at our confirmation, Shavuot, and Yitzchor services at 6 p.m. Please join us for the celebration. Donations were made to B'nai Zion in honor of Israel's 69th birthday by the Sisterhood, in loving memory of Shelton Shelley Boren by Aaron Boren. Thank you.
Thank you. We need 4 people to hold the pole up because Alexander has a birthday in June. I don't know if anybody else does. Who? Ricky does? Your birthday's in June? In May, I mean? May? Come on. I have my list. You guys are getting good at this. I sent you a birthday card. Yeah, I know. It is true, I did. It is true. So did Gary. Oh, so does Fred. They have an anniversary. God of days and of years, author of life, our times are in your hand. We thank you for the blessing of life and for all that enriches our lives. We gather today in special thankfulness to share in the happiness of our friends. Be with them always as the joy of their lives. May they be blessed with health and happiness and with the strength to overcome sickness and sorrow. May we have the joy of coming together for many more years, united by mutual reverence and love. Then will our lives be filled with abundance of blessing. And we say together, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, shehecheyanu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. Thank you. So can I have Fred and Melinda to come up and open the ark for us, please? Thank you. You guys can put down here. Thank you. We are going to be turning to page 148. Where are you going? Yeah, no, we'll crash. Not yet. Page 148. Please rise when the ark is open. More. Yeah, no. Nice. Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon hakol, latet gedula liotzer breshit, shelo asanu kegoye haratzot, v'lo samanu kemishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, v'gohor aleinu kechol hamonam, v'anachnu korehim, ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. And on the facing page we say, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד. Ushimo echad. When the ark is closed, you may be seated. Mazel tov. How many? 36. You know what that is? 36. You know what 36 is, don't you? Double chai. Double chai. That's like 2 whole lifetimes. Does it feel like 2 whole lifetimes?
Well, we gave you 6 before that.
Oh my goodness. Amazing. And you're still babies. Come on. Congratulations. Oop, I got to pick this up. My names are here too. We continue on page 151. Our thoughts turn to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, let us meditate on the meaning of life and loss, of life and death. I wanted to point out that we have had 6 military losses this year, none in May. 43 police losses this year, 43 this year, including 1 in May, and that one was in Louisiana, so we now have 3 in Louisiana. And we've had 35 firefighter losses this year, and thank God so far none in May. We pray that that stays. May their memories be a blessing, and may we be forever grateful to those people who run into dangerous situations when we are. Now we do. Yeah, them too. We don't have that list. That's a good question. Aaron is asking me about the paramedics, and I don't have a list for paramedics. Aaron, I'll look for that too. Most of the time when paramedics are doing their job, it's not like a life-threatening thing. When a firefighter runs into a burning building for us, yeah, we've lost. We've got that in there. We continue on page 153. Life is finite. Like a candle, it burns, it glows. It's radiant with warmth and beauty. Then it fades. Its substance is consumed, and it is no more. In light we see, in light we are seen. The flames dance, and our lives are full. But as night follows day, the candle of our life burns down in gutters. There's an end to the flames. We see no more and are no more seen. Yet we do not despair, for we are more than a memory slowly fading into the darkness. With our lives, we give life. Something of us can never die. We move in the eternal cycle of darkness and death, of light and life. However brief may be our time on earth, O God, you endow our fleeting days with abiding worth. We now recall the loved ones whom death has taken from us this past 30 days. We remember Shirley Murov, that's how she liked to say it, Shirley Murov, Gringus, Seligman, and we remember David Quinn. And as we remember those who died at this season in years past, we take them and we remember Dorothy Kaplan. And as we remember those who died at this season in years past, we take them into our hearts with our own. Those for whom we're observing Yortzeit this week include Isaac Barron, B. Blumberg, Shelley Boren, Harry Fox, Nancy Claire Fox, Sally Friedman, Irving Greenberg, Fanny Chapman Handel, Lucille Michel, Joseph Phillips, Isaac Reyes, Reuben Schultz, Mayer Peter Paul Jacob Shamgar, Stanley L. Sugar, Rebecca Vedlitz, and Herman Willer. In this moment of memory, our griefs and sympathies are mingled. Loving God, we rise as together we praise your name. The Mourner's Kaddish is found on page 154. Yitgadal v'yitkadash Shemei Rabbah, be'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayachon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'vizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehe Shemei Rabbah mevarach la'alam u'lalmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yitaleh v'litalal shmei dekudsha brichu la'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehe shalama rabba min shemaya v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav hu ya'aseh shalom Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved. Amen. And since you are standing, I'm going to not make you sit and stand and sit and stand. Can I have someone help me hand these out, please, in each direction? One on this side, one on this side. Our closing song is going to be the national anthem of Israel. So we stand as we face the flag. The name of the national anthem is Hatikva, and that means the hope. The hope. Hatikva is the hope. And you see the translation. I don't know that we can sing that translation. I never tried that, but you see the translation at the bottom of the page. Has anybody seen the movie Cast a Giant Shadow? It was good, huh? Thank you. Yep. We sing. Kol od balevav penima nefesh Yehudi homia ulefate mizrach kadima ayin litzion Sophia od lo avda tikvatenu hatikva bat shnot alpaim lihiotam chofshi be'artzenu eretz Tzion v'Yerushalayim lihiot am chofshi be'artzenu eretz Tzion v'Yerushalayim. If you want to sit for the motzi, you can, and you can stay standing because we're almost done. But I need anybody who's under the age of 13 to please come and help me say the blessing for the... You can sit if you want. You want to sit? It's hard to sit and stand, isn't it? Ready? Hold the bottom. All right, in case you don't know, come on, come around. These are all, I'm going to put it this way, Cecile's grandkids, and Ricky's kids, and Maureen's kids. All of them. That's like 17 times more kids than we normally have on a Friday night, and here they are. You ready? But they're good at the motzi. Ready? Ha-motzi ha'aretz.
We give thanks to God for bread. Our voices rising strong together as our joyful prayer is said. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz v'te'avon. All right, you can. That's all for you guys. Grab. I take the plate. You take that. I got the plate. For those of you who have been standing, please stay standing. Ready? For those of you who are not standing, stand up. I'm going to give you your blessing. Never forget that Israel is still our heart. It doesn't matter that we're sitting here in Shreveport, and we're really happy to be sitting here together in Shreveport. Please remember that Israel is still our heart and our home. That's important. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless you. May God protect you. Yair Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka. May the light of God's face shine upon you and be gracious to you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God's face always be lifted up to you. May God grant you peace. Shabbat shalom.